better
place.
Can I ask you a question? Because there was American flag burnings outside the DNC. And I mean, there has been a lot of commentary on the left.
And people have the right to burn flags.
I will tell you, there were a lot of USA chants. My ears can attest they were ringing because they were extremely loud. I mean, they are trying to force a vibe shift on this. Ramaswamy was complaining about this. He says, this is being decided now based on a vibe, based on style over substance. But do you think that that's effective? I mean, you saw that video, Democrats, Republicans, military veterans.
Well, he wasn't speaking directly to the patriotism issue, was he? Because, I mean, I think we all agree it's good to see USA chants, no matter if it's Democrat audience or Republican audience. We are Americans above all else, and that's what we need to be reminded of every day. That being said, a Gallup poll recently just showed that we've really hit a rock bottom as far as patriotism. About 56% of Republicans say they're very proud to be an American, 34% of Democrats. So, I mean, I really think for the survival of our nation, we do need to be patriotic. That being said, Mark Twain once said, you should support your country. Patriotism means supporting your country all the time and your government when it deserves it. And I think that has to remain true. I think it seems like it's a little politically convenient, the shift, but I actually love hearing Kamala Harris, our vice president, saying this is the greatest nation on earth, because it is.
Well, you know, I think, I've worked in Democratic politics for years. I remember working in the Mike Dukakis campaign in 1988 and in Ohio, and going to a campaign rally in Ohio where the campaign theme song was Neil Diamond's "They Come Into America." And that was continuously played at every event that we went to because it was a patriotic campaign. Yeah. Democrats have always been patriotic and have always run patriotic campaigns. This is not something new. Republicans have just used this and weaponized patriotism against Democrats because when Democrats speak out about certain issues, Republicans try to vilify them. So one of the best comments I saw at the convention was by Governor Westmore of Maryland, who said, "Loving your country does not mean lying about its history." We can acknowledge the fact this country has flaws and at the same time realize that we're still proud to be Americans and proud to be a part of it. But we want to make America a better place.
Can I ask you a question? Because there was American flag burnings outside the DNC. And I mean, there has been a lot of commentary on the left.
And people have the right to burn flags.
And they absolutely do. But it's not, let's be real, it's not patriotic.
It is absolutely patriotic to burn a flag. It is absolutely patriotic.
I will never burn a flag.
Part of being an American means respecting the right of people to disagree with America.
But it also means respecting the flag.
Respecting the flag, I disagree with that.
In this clip, we see Keith Boykin make a statement that honestly leaves me baffled. He claims that burning the flag can somehow be seen as a form of patriotism. Let's break this down for a moment, because in my view, that's about as far from patriotism as you can get. Patriotism, by definition, is about respect for your country, its symbols, its history, its values. Burning the flag doesn't respect anything. He outright rejected. Now let's get real. A patriot doesn't burn the flag. They honor it. They respect the national anthem. They take pride in the country they live in. This idea that you can express love for your country by destroying the very symbol of it, that's the kind of twisted logic that has infiltrated the modern Democratic Party. It's a clear sign of how far they've strayed from traditional American values. Take this as a perfect example of absurdity we're dealing with pretty much today. It's crazy. The flag isn't just a piece of cloth. It's a symbol of everything this America stands for. People have fought and died for it. To say that burning the flag is somehow an act of patriotism is not just wrong, it's a slap in the face to those who have served and sacrificed. This is the virus that's taken hold of the Democratic Party, this upside-down logic that defies common sense. And if you think this is just one person's off-the-cuff comment, think again. It's a part of a larger pattern of disdain for traditional American values that's becoming more mainstream on the left. We need to push back against this kind of thinking. It's time to reaffirm that patriotism really means respecting our country, our symbols, and our history. Because if we don't, we risk losing the very essence of what makes America America.
You quoted Mark Twain. I mean, he said you love your country, but you also love it enough basically to criticize the
Absolutely.
government when you disagree with it.
Which we all do here.
Yeah, I mean, it
And we
just seems
should.
to me that is in the spirit.
I have never burned a flag. I would never burn a flag, but I respect the right of anybody who wants to burn a flag because that is part of what America is all about.
I think that's part of what love is all about.
You have the right to agree or disagree.
That's part of what love is all about.
comment.
When
In
you
20
love somebody,
in
you can
2016
criticize them. You can be angry with them. You can say that they're wrong. You can call them on their stuff, right? If you love somebody, now if you don't, you let them do whatever they want and let them go to their ruin. But when you love America, you talk about the fact that America isn't where it needs to be. It hasn't lived up to its promise.
And I would
It
add,
hasn't lived up to its creed.
2016, when the DNC had their convention, Hillary Clinton, what was not there on the first night? A single American flag. And then they scrambled to go buy American flag.
I don't know.
So I would say that, I was watching the DNC debate, seeing if they were going to make that mistake like they made with Hillary Clinton the first night.
But this is.
I let you finish, so thank you for letting me finish.
All right. I thought you were finished.
No.
Okay,
And so, it's good to see Democrats sort of embracing the flag again. We saw it throughout the convention. We saw it.
It's not again, though.
It's not a flag. A flag's a piece of cloth.
Flag is jingoism.
Now, I disagree. I disagree with this statement. Burning the flag, in my opinion, goes far beyond legitimate protest. It's a rejection of the very principles that make this country what it is. Patriotism means respecting the flag, the anthem, and the value they represent. It's a line that shouldn't be crossed. Yes, we should acknowledge that America's history is complex and sometimes painful, but that history, both the good and bad, is what makes America unique. You can express frustration with the system, push for change, and demand justice without destroying the symbols that unite us. The flag represents freedom, democracy, and the sacrifices made by countless Americans. When you burn it, you're not just criticizing the government, you're renouncing your connection to the country itself. This perspective isn't just an opinion. It's backed by a majority of Americans who believe that the flag should be respected. According to a 2020 poll by YouGov, 56% of Americans oppose the idea of flag burning as a form of protest, with many seeing it as unpatriotic and disrespectful. But at the end of the day, if you despise the country and its symbol so much, why stay? America has its flaws, no doubt, but it's those very flaws and the effort to overcome them that make it great. Destroying what binds us together is not the solution. If we want to see change, we should build upon our shared values, not tear them down. Let's channel that energy into constructive action, not destructive gestures.
Which is that, so I always like to start this conversation with a quote from James Baldwin, who says, "It's because I love my country so much that I insist upon the right to criticize it."
Thank you.
You want better for it. And so part of what Wes Moore is doing, and I think we should emphasize this because Governor Wes Moore is the one who has really been pushing this line for a very long time, over 5 years, really making this argument that we can reconcile the two things. We can say, I love America. And we can also say America can be better, that the vision that we put forward is one of an America that is far more inclusive, one that is about freedom, one that is about having the ability to do these things. One of the things that I was really struck by was the story that he tells over and over again, where he says that his grandfather was run out of this country by the KKK, and he says that I will never come back. And he says, knowing that, he was like, I still became the first black governor of Maryland. I enlisted in the armed forces and I fought for this country because I love this country. But I know that I can hold these two things together and say that this country can be better, and it's because I love this country so much. And that's what we saw on display at the Democratic National Convention this week.
Very quickly, Keith.
I just think we have to also caution against performative patriotism. You don't have to wave a flag or put on a flag pin or pledge allegiance in order to be patriotic. Your patriotism is because you believe in the country, you love in the country. You don't have to prove it to Republicans or conservatives just to be an American patriot.
Let me be clear. I disagree with this notion entirely. Burning the flag of your country doesn't reflect patriotism. It's a sign of renouncing your connection to it. A patriot respects the flag, the national anthem, and the values that they symbolize. Take a look at the contrast here. For years, the USA chant has been synonymous with Republican rallies, particularly those of the MAGA movement. It's a rallying cry for love of country, pride, uh, uh, pride in our shared identity. Yet, when the Democrats express frustration, we often see violence, flag burning, and disrespect for the national anthem. This isn't a matter of partisanship. It's about the symbols that represent our nation and the progress we've made, symbols that Democrats see all too willing to desecrate when things don't go their way. Consider this during protests in 2020. We saw images of American flags being set ablaze while chants against the country echoed in the streets. Contrast that with Republicans' rallies, where flags are waved proudly, and you begin to see who truly respect the nation's ideals, even when they disagree with certain policies. According to a Gallup poll, 70% of Republicans express extreme pride in being American, compared to just 24% of Democrats. This isn't just about political affiliation, it's about the mindset that drives these actions. Respect for the flag and the anthem transcend politics. It's about acknowledging our flaws while still believing in the promise of America. Destroying our symbols won't fix our issues. It only deepens the divide. I think we should reject these performative gestures and focus on real progress that moves our nation forward. Let me know what you think in the comment below. Do you agree that true patriotism involves respecting our country symbols, flaws, and all? And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on more content like this. Thank you.